The Coming Revolution, A New Vibrational Reality. By Tim Bryant. June 20, 2016. Website: TheLastAmericanVagabond.com. Produced by Higher Self.
A quote by Nikola Tesla. Quote, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." End quote. Energy is a property of objects, which can be transferred to other objects or converted, but cannot be created or destroyed. Literally, everything in the known universe is energy in some form or another, whether it's thoughts, emotions, actions, or objects. The law of vibration states that all energy in the universe vibrates at a particular frequency, therefore it's in a constant state of motion. The vibrational frequency directly determines the form in which the energy will take, and according to the law of attraction, energy which vibrates at a particular frequency will attract other energies that vibrate at the same frequency. The question is, what vibrational frequency is society tuned to? Parasitism is a non-symbiotic relationship between entities, where one entity benefits at the expense of another. One example of a parasite is a virus. A virus is a vibrational energy that infects a system and self-replicates within the living host, often to the ill effect or corruption of the system. It seems today, there is a virus lodged deep within the collective consciousness of mankind that is actively pulling the masses away from the natural state of being, and attracting them towards an unnatural vibrational matrix of a false consciousness illusion that's self-replicating towards its own self-destruction. This virus comes in the form of complete top-down control over the manifestation of the entire energy supply on planet Earth. This parasitic virus aims to absorb all society's energy by trapping it all in an energetic matrix of vibrational illusion, in which all the energy is deceptively filtered to the top of the pyramid, while little quality energy is reciprocated down in return. This virus has continued to expand over time through a self-replicating system of mass centralization of virtually all aspects of human life. Nothing resembles this centralizing force more than the amount of power and control a very few families have over the entire world. It is literally astonishing how much money the 1% of the 1% have compared to the rest of society, and how little everyone understands its effect. Not only do the very few control an ungodly amount of capital, but many from this aristocratic class are family dynasties that have been around for a very long time, with strong interconnections to other families within the same elite class. A concept that many feel to be unbelievable is the fact that all U.S. presidents, except one, are related, and that the royal families still wield massive power. This is no coincidence. It should also come as no surprise that many of the most powerful people in the world are part of secret societies like the Freemasons, Skull and Bones, and the Bilderberg Group, as well as sketchy non-secret groups, like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commissions, and the Club of Rome. Even more ironic, is that many of these people are usually directly related or financially affiliated with the same royal families that held positions of monarchy throughout much of history. This centralized oligarchy has been able to spread its tentacles into virtually all aspects of society, politics, government, finance, business, military, think tanks, media, and intelligence. By centralizing power, a hierarchical pyramid is formed in which the majority of assets in society are under their control directly or indirectly. Society has been tricked into the illusion that they need these assets to survive, and therefore society taps into their vibrational frequency, and their energy flows to the top of the pyramid, while all that flows down is empty promises of hope and change. People say, well, how come no one knows about this? Well, it's simple, the centralization of thought and information. The media, which is designed to inform the people of the most important up-to-date events, has condensed down to just 6 corporations that are owned and controlled for the benefit of a few. Its objective is to program your frequency to the illusion, because if it were to enlighten you, you would see right through it. From a young age, children are quickly trained and tested in a centralized curriculum for which they must align vibrationally, if they are to get valuable positions within the central economic machine. Those who choose homeschooling for holistic and alternative paths are quickly ridiculed and pressured into joining in the central frequency of Common Core. Fortunately, one is able to obtain a wealth of knowledge now through the internet. Yet, that too is ever so strongly under attack by politicians and corporations who are trying to minimize parameters to a particular frequency. This is accomplished by controlling the Internet's vibrational field through tactics like filtering search engine results based on their truthfulness, their version of the truth that is, demonetizing videos on YouTube deemed politically offensive, and introducing legislative bills for net neutrality like SOPA and CISPA. The government has no plan to stop this, as they too are centralizing information through extensive classification of documents covered up by the illusionary excuse of national security. Those who dissent and leak out information are punished harshly under the Espionage Act, for which Obama has done more than all other administrations combined. Through strict parameters on information, the virus's most deadly gambit slipped right through the crack of society, the central control over the money supply through privately owned central banks. Those closely connected to the central banks have first priority access to the original source of money and therefore a majority of the benefits. Everyone else is drowned in endless debt and left to scrap for the few life jackets remaining. The illusion is quite simple: money, through no work and backed by nothing but perceived confidence through mass programming, is printed by the central bank and loaned into existence to those at the top of the pyramid to invest. Profits are kept by the winners while losses are covered by the public, because these groups are too big to fail. The wealth gap has skyrocketed as a result, as the middle class was obliterated, and the government exploded. This is only multiplied through fractional reserve banking, in which banks create massive equity bubbles through huge credit expansion. By law they're able to loan out 90% of all deposits made while only keeping 10% in their vaults. This credit expansion, through funny money printing, also comes with a hidden tax of inflation tacked on, that affects the middle and lower classes disproportionately. Don't worry though, those close to the source of the money faucet know when the credit is going to dry up, so they make sure to pull out right before it pops, and then re-enter the market to buy it all up for pennies on the dollar, further consolidating assets and power. A condensed political system has formed that is subservient to the owners of the money faucet. It's those who operate the well, that fund the campaigns, own the resources, and therefore dictate the policy of the federal government. They virtually handpick the politicians. To make it interesting, they create an illusion in which two teams that represent two versions of the same frequency have a fictitious battle. When in reality, the same result happens every time: the elite cabal wins again. This is easily disguised by the use of a revolving door between state, corporate and lobbyist positions, and maintained through military, intelligence, and technological power. Only a limited dissent is let to leak out so as to appear change might be possible. It never does though, as many, even within the system, are subject to propaganda programming and compartmentalization. The product, loyal serfs on a need-to-know basis unable to connect the dots to a larger picture. Sadder than that, is the fact that this has centralized society's culture at large. What it means to be a human being is already there for you. Just follow us, they say. Far too many people in society look towards these social trends and are tuned vibrationally through this external frequency. Centralization means control, and control is a direct result of fear. Through the mass manipulation of the vibrational energy of fear, a very few have hijacked the collective consciousness of humankind. They have fractured its connectivity by pulling it into the chaotic state of fear and creating its own order from it, in which only the parasite benefits. A new world order, order out of chaos. However tall the mountain may be at times, many are beginning to wake up and tune back into their core frequency, realizing this was all an illusion as they deprogram back to their natural state of being, free and open. This shift in consciousness from fear to love is happening quickly, as new portals are opening for mankind to fight off this virus and return to a healthy state. The revolution is there if we just tune into the right source. When posed with the question, how do we change it, many people will begin to brainstorm about levers within the system that can be pulled to bring about change. Laws have been passed, unions have formed, and politicians have changed, but still yet, the parasitic virus remains alive. This is because the idea of revolution has been mostly misunderstood. The problem is that the system is tuned to their frequency, therefore everything within the system, including the rules and levers of change, are tuned to that frequency, so one has to tune into the frequency of fear to even participate. It's like playing a game of Monopoly in which the other person owns almost all the property and the bank. You lose, of course, but that's because you're lazy, right? Instead of trying to bring about change by using a system which has no legitimacy, has broken its promise to uphold the law an unthinkable amount of times, and dismantled all levers of change, people need to look to build a new vibrational system from the bottom up, instead of wasting time trying to change an old one. Stop looking to the state or the powerful capitalist for change, for it will never come in a system built vibrationally parasitic. They simply have too many chips in the current game and therefore it would be against their own interests to change it. The revolution is that of decentralization in which people take direct ownership over their own energetic actions to not feed the parasite. This is made possible through the law of resonance, in which we directly affect our vibrational frequency through the expanded awareness of our own mind, body, and soul. Decentralization is a bottom-up approach with your soul at the very bottom, essentially the root. This root can be anchored into the ground by fear or by love. A new vibrational reality will never build a solid enough foundation to bring about real change until the collective of souls plants their seeds of love deep within the ground. Remember, everything is energy and therefore, how one uses their energy directly impacts which systems are manifested into reality. The more energy and time the collective puts into this centralized system of unjust power and limited parameters, the more it will manifest into reality. Therefore, people must literally vote with their energy, exemplified by how their money is spent, what their time and work is devoted to, and finally what values they put out into the world. Gandhi truly understood this when he said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." The reality is, we don't need this central system, and without us tuning into that vibrational frequency, the bottom layer will be removed, and this central system will have no energy for which to operate, and collapse like a house of cards. Once people become aligned from within, change on a larger collective level is then possible. New systemic solutions are already out there. People just have to tune into the vibrational possibility of change and naturally they will attract the solutions. Through a decentralized bottom-up approach, it goes from the individual, to the local community, to the state, to the country, and then ultimately internationally. So therefore it is at the local level in which most of our collective energy must be invested first. Solutions include, beginning to localize as much food as possible through the support of local farmers, community gardens, and farmers markets, taking control of the local energy grid and learning to become energy self-sufficient, and finally getting rid of politicians, businesses, and judicial/police enforcement agencies that do not live up to the moral or ethical standards set about by the people. As more communities begin to take back control, a volunteering network of cooperation in trade and resources will begin to emerge as essentially a new economy. This new economy could operate on alternative forms of currency such as cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, precious metals, direct barter, or even a trading of labor hours directly, as exemplified by the town of Ithaca, New York since 1991. Local credit unions and peer-to-peer lending networks can replace national banks, cutting the power cord of control that the banks have over the currency. Not only should people form new local economies and government, but it's time to build new media outlets, propose enlightened school systems, develop conscious think tanks, and cultivate our own entertainment. It's truly a bottom-up grassroots movement unlike any other. Essentially, it's a complete makeover of society that includes a comprehensive transformation of self, through more conscious lifestyle choices. Eventually, this can cultivate a new energy in the world in which people can vibrate at their own core frequency, yet still vibrate on a deeper frequency together as one, voluntarily cooperating with each other as a result. This is the beauty of energy, for quantum physics shows us that all energy underneath its separate forms is the same, derived from the same source. It's everything that ever was, is, and will be. It's an energetic domain of unlimited possibility and infinite awareness. In quantum physics, the source is referred to as quanta, while others take a more spiritual approach and call it God or the universe. The connection to this higher consciousness will give rise to even greater movements of people united by peace and love, ready to tackle bigger national issues such as the decentralization of natural resource control, land control, judicial system control, military/intelligence operational control, internet control, and federal governmental control. These centralized systems eventually must collapse or be redefined with new power structures if real revolution is to happen. It starts with you. Every action is energy, so every action taken in alignment with the vibrational frequency of this false matrix enables it to persist, while every action taken towards a new vibrational system enables it to not only cultivate, but for new seeds to be planted that will harvest into future growth. The ego must be stripped of its power so that the mind is opened and the infinite energy of the entire universe can flow through it. This is living in the present moment and how one vibrates at their core frequency, free of unnecessary programming. It is not a centralized image forced down from the top in which the answers are hidden, but instead directly within your heart, the portal of love that unites us all, and ultimately leads to higher states of vibrational frequency. When one vibrates from the heart at his or her own core frequency, the body resonates out pure love, and the parasitic virus has no energetic fear to feed on. What then starts to form, is a social conscience mosaic, comprised of many diverse individuals expressing themselves freely in unique ways, held together by a vibrational force of love that naturally resonates a bigger, more beautiful vibrational frequency. This is the coming revolution of consciousness, a new vibrational reality.